is presentation number 3. Essentially, we had, just to recap, the Eagle mentality introduction presentation. Then we had sales pipeline contracting and project charter. The second one, we had reducing project cost and working with your team effectively. And then now, let me share my screen. Use Monday.com and get your team to use it. So, and I'm not going to go all into Monday. I mean, this is something that we have onboarding videos that are on your onboarding board that go through every little piece of Monday.com. You can even Google if you need to. We also have on the intranet some support videos as well for Monday.com, which you can access on the website. But first, I really want to talk about the financial KPI board around Monday, because this is how we're going to start measuring through the strategic plan our metrics, incremental growth around our 3-year strategic plan. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And I already have my screen shared. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. There we go. Get it together. You know, after you do so many presentations, your head's going crazy. So anyway, use Monday.com. So basically, this is how, through our strategic plan, we are measuring incremental growth and progress. And as you are working with a cross-collaborative team, you have access to some boards that are very private because they have some of our financials on there. You're tracking our profitability. You're looking at things that everybody does not have access to. And so therefore, it is so important that, you know, as leaders, you are set aside for a certain reason, and you do have access to these boards. So I am going to look at one board is Financial 23 External Project Budget Tracker, FY 2023 Financial KPI Board, and then the External Project Boards, which will be more about get your team to use it. So let's first look at the FY 2023 External Project Budget Board. So basically, you have names of projects here. First one is CSW that has Smart Start Education, DISB, NIPSI, NPSI, HIP, Maya, Spring 2023. Basically, these are projects, right? But they're not projects that the team has access to. This is how we track the budget of each project. So I'm actually going to go to, and everybody does not have access to this, but I think it's important for you all to at least see it on Monday.com. So I'm going to just share Monday.com really quickly. Let me collapse some of these. So as you can see, the screenshot was basically these projects. We are tracking with the project managers, okay? We are tracking your burn hours each month of that project over the course of time. So this is where we can then see, okay, here's the scope of the project. Here's the timeline, the start and end date of that particular project. Did it go over that start and end date? Okay, we also have the rates of each of the personnel in that, what they're getting. Then they're calculated their hours for each of the months. And then for the duration of that project, and then we can tell by a green mark or an X whether that's on budget or not on budget. We'll find out what the actual cost is, and we know the differentiator if we lost money on that project. And our project managers are managing that FY 2023 external project project budget tracker, which is so important, because this is how we then know, okay, we're not pricing this right, or the personnel is taking too long to do something, because we're looking at every single piece of the project for each month. We're meeting with the project managers and making sure that they're staying within budget within that project. So just an overview of the FY23 external project budget tracker, and usually only our project managers have access to that board. All right, let me go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Now we're going to look at FY 2023 financial KPI board. Now, basically, this board is a summation of everything that we do as a company, as a business. It talks about our profit and loss, what we're doing with our accountants. Each month, we get a profit and loss sheet. We have a balance sheet, and we are monitoring that. We are looking at what is discrepancy, what is not, even though we're doing the bookkeeping of all of these, but we want to see every month. And then we actually, each quarter, will write down, okay, what did we do good? What did we did not do well? This is the same thing you need to do as cross-collaborative teams as you're working through your data, all right? Quarterly taxes, which is a big thing. If we're making profit, we need to pay taxes on that profit, right? You know, you need to do the same thing if you're working as a personnel, as a subcontractor, to do the same thing. Project price and net profit, okay? That's, you know, what we're after cost. What is the net profit? What are we actually profiting from these projects, okay? And we do have a certain percent. We want to at least make 30 to 50% off of a project. So we are particular about who we choose for what project and who the client is and the pricing for that. Sales funnel. We are tracking the sales funnel by each month and also quarterly. Qualified government contracts. Once we go through the sales funnel, if we find a contract, we also, the sales funnel could be a client, a grant, or a RFP, right? We know that. That's the Bunifu way. Now, the qualified government contracts is we're now then saying if we submit a government contract, how many are we submitting? How many are we not winning? How many are we winning? Because then that'll tell us, okay, we need to go back to this agency. We need to refine what we're doing because we're not doing well. And then grants. Also the same thing, we're submitting grants. We want to track how many grants we researched, qualified for, submit, did not get, or did get, all right? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm actually going to show the project board for financial KPI. All right, you should be able to see now my screen with the profit and loss. We deal with that. Tisha actually does our profit and loss, and Maurice, of course, works with the profit and loss. And we enter that information in the quarterly taxes. Project pricing and net price, we also do ourselves, but Russell actually puts in for, you know, our sourcing leads, for how many leads he is sourcing for each month. For March, we still need to have April and May in there, but for March, we've done this many. We did a lot, but this was at the very beginning. Did we really know what we were doing? We've kind of scaled down. We've now made some qualified leads here in March, but have we won anything? No. All right, so we got to do a better job. What is going on? Maybe we need to reconvene as a cross team, not with me. You know, I'm going to create some time but it's very, very, very important that you think about, your data and looking at your overall data. He also has data that he uses that shows his sales tracking sheet even more detail oriented. And this is what he does his calls with. And so it does give a little bit more information about how he's tracking information, who he's emailing, how many people email and open. He then is also doing bids, RFPs and bids as well. And doing some calls, and he's also tracking, RFPs here and bids and who he's also talking to. But for the most part, we're really tracking what is on this FY23 financial KPI. All right, and that's mostly Russell is the sales funnel. Then we have Antoinetta and Rosalind, they're writing the RFPs, right? So this is what we qualify for, the total from Russell. Then these are the total applied, a total won, total not won, total did not qualify for. All right. So we, as you can see, this needs to be updated, but it was a new thing because we added Antoinetta and Rosalind to this board to basically fill in their pieces on what they're submitting and doing. Grants is another thing that we're tracking. Rosalind is in charge of grants. So we're seeing how many grants we're researching each month. All right, total prospects. And so this is the goal we have for the year. Total prospects, meaning how many grants did we actually qualify? Did we apply for them? Did we win? Total grants did not win, total not qualified. So very, very important that we're tracking all of our information from our profit and loss to our net profit, from our projects to our sales funnel, to our grants and our qualified leads. We are going to expand our partnerships. We're still thinking through that. So I know, Sandra, you are really focused on that a lot. And so we're still trying to figure out, okay, what does that really look like? Marketing as well. We do have a marketing board in which we are now tracking our emails. And this board looks like, and Tisha primarily deals with this board, but as you can see, who we're emailing, superintendents, district leaders, what the email is that's going out. We have that here. We actually, Tisha uploads the actual social media pieces, so we know what performed well, what did not perform well for the social media pieces as we are moving forward, that we could maybe duplicate. Like gamification was a really cool thing that came out as far as something that was really, really, really important in how we were sharing through social media. So I'm going to stop sharing again, and I'm just going to show the PowerPoint screen so you all can see external project boards. I'm not going to go too much into this, but this is about get your team to use it. I'm not going to go much into it, but I think for the most part, all of you have seen project boards. I'm just going to walk really quickly. This is where the projects are housed, external project boards. There's project resources that are above it. We do it in the phases of the project, which are 5 phases. And then we put different tasks and milestones that are part of the project board. So I'm going to just show you one project board just so you can see it, but most of you should know it. I think maybe Russell may not know much, and Tisha may not know much about the project board, but it always begins with a resource. This is where all of our folks work on the different projects, the front-end analysis. These are the phases of the project, the design, And then, of course, we have links that we can link the storyboard to the draft, the overview. So all of this is all connected. We have assignments, we have the timeline. Ariana does a really good job, and Marissa does a really good job of updating the project board, but these are just some examples. And then quality assurance, and then the phase 3 of the closing of the meeting, was which she is using for the different phases. And I think the phases are here. She's using the draft, the voiceover, the reviews, and so forth for the design phase. So that's an example of one project timeline. These are just some examples of other project timelines and it's so important that your team uses it. You know, sometimes we get asked questions that I don't want to bother you at night. I just want to be able to move forward and answer the question. Sometimes we have procurement offices ask, okay, what's going on? We had to go and look at all the burn sheets, give them all the information, write up a report for a particular project. And we didn't need to do anything because everything was updated, and we needed to have it turned around in a certain time, and we didn't need to go to the project manager or the project team to ask questions. We had it all on the board, and we had it all on the burn sheet. So it's very important to keep those external project boards updated and have your teams use it. I do want you there will be a post-evaluation that will go out after June 11th, the mix and mingle. We will want you to complete it by June 16th. What did you like about the mix and mingle Q&A? What could we have done differently to improve it, and provide suggestions and comments? I know that we offered a lot of presentations, but I think it's going to really lay the foundation for our strategic priority number 2. That's part of our strategic plan. And of course, Tisha will follow up with you. We are going to meet as a cross-divisional team probably 2 more times prior to our final company-wide meeting that will happen sometime in March. I'm saying March, probably October or November will happen, our last company meeting to close, but we will have another cross-divisional team. But you are open to connect with one another and connect, and making sure that we are having the eagle mentality, that we're not doing this alone, that we are really building business development and sales for Bunifu. Again, I want to thank everybody for attending all of the sessions. You all have a wonderful day, night, evening, and you take care.